So the second cause of World War I is the arms race. I'm going to refer to this as militarism. Militarism is the buildup of militaries, the extreme spending and development of different militaries by these different countries. So, because when I cover all of these causes again at the end, I'm going to use the acronym MAIN. And militarism is one of these key causes. Here in your reading, it's called the arms race, but it means the same thing. So understand, again, if you look at this map, these countries are competing with each other for territory around the world. And because there's the potential for war, they start building up their militaries because they're very fearful of being beaten in a war, quite frankly. And so one of the things they're going to do is really try to strengthen their militaries. Now, um, Nicholas II of Russia had seen this as a potential problem and called for a meeting, a convention in 1899 in the Netherlands at a place called The Hague. And the Hague Convention attempted to try to limit militaries as well as establish a court of arbitration where people could take their problems to and try to get it settled, and established also protocols for proper war, like, hey, you shouldn't like use chemical weapons on people and you shouldn't torture prisoners and things like this. So there had been some things that were attempted to be done to try to limit the militarism that was taking place, but it was to no avail. And I've got a couple of there's a YouTube link I put in here. This is the one I think I put in with top countries by military spending, and you can see by 1914 here, Germany, and this is in U.S. dollars, was leading the world in spending on its military, followed by the United Kingdom, France, Austria, and Russia. In fact, notice these five countries, which are the five primary countries that are involved in World War I, especially at the beginning. They were spending a whole lot of money on their militaries leading into this war. Top five armies in the world in 1914. Notice Russia's pretty large, but if you also notice they didn't spend much money on them, so they might have a lot of soldiers, but those soldiers don't have a lot of weapons. And that actually is, you're going to find that in a couple of wars here. But especially this one, Russians aren't very well armed at all. And you'll see Germany's got a large army because they have the second largest population in Europe. And then you can see these others. United Kingdom spending most of its money on its navy. And so it has by far the most powerful navy in the world. And Germany, especially, is worried about its enemy, Russia, on the one hand, another major enemy, France, who had gotten in a border dispute over the Alsace-Lorraine, and it's also worried about the United Kingdom. So Germany's really worried about enemies on three sides here. And one of the things they decide is they're going to try to rival Britain's navy. And so they really, starting in the early 1900s, start to build up their navy. Well, of course, the United Kingdom, since that's the one thing they're good at, they don't want Germany to be able to beat them um, as far as a land war and on the water. And so they're going to build up their navy to try to keep that advantage over Germany. And all of this building up of the military is just going to lead to more fear and more attempts to build up the military, because if you see everybody else getting stronger, you want to get stronger as well. You need to be able to explain militarism as one of the key causes of World War I.